Awesome. Thank you for tuning in.
Look, I know we got a limited time, so I'm gonna jump right into it. Just for context, though, like I can use the spelling of your name, like that's the exact spelling. Okay, yeah. Cool. And then I'll ask you this: what year did you graduate from FAMU?
I graduated in 2011.
Okay, cool. All right. And do you mind telling me what you majored in?
Computer information technology. Hold on. Business and technology education. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. You're a nerd. Oh, you a nerd.
I am. A lot of people don't know that, but I am, honestly.
No, that's good. That's good. Representation matters. I feel like a guy like you saying that's what you majored in school. Like, I feel like that's like that's what the kids need to see. Like, you don't gotta be some, in a suit. Like, you could be smart and be cool.
Yeah, that's my goal. That's really my that's my angle going into this next phase of Coach's Closet. Like being a nerd, but also being cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. We got to double back and talk about Coach's Closet and really get into the weeds of that. But I really appreciate you coming and speaking with me today for this story about the Orange Blossom Classic. So let's just get into it. Tell me why you're attending this year's Orange Blossom Classic and what you're looking forward to the most.
So I'm attending one I've attended the last 2 years. But it's just tradition. My parents, they told me about how they went to the Orange Blossom Classic when they were young. So to see it come back around, it means a lot. And knowing that we're a legacy of Rattlers, like our family is a tradition. So just, it's something that feels automatic. Like if we're not there, it's a problem. And What am I looking forward to? Just the camaraderie. Like this time of year is good because we're allowed to come together. You see so many Rattlers from old to young, different generations, multi-generational, but however, we still come together with fellowship. We have a good time. And again, it's just that burning fire in you to know that you're a Rattler and you're doing something for the people that paved the way before you.
That's what's up. That's what I keep hearing. I'm talking to people about the Orange Blossom Classic, and they're talking about this reunion, this energy, especially you Rattlers. You guys are like, this is our time to come back together. It's a time of like family reunion, or just kicking it with old friends. So that's really good to hear, because a lot of times you don't get to do that, especially in Miami on this scale. So to have that many Black people coming together, or different ethnicities coming together to have a good time and have a family feel, that just speaks to the significance of this event.
Agreed. Again, it's a family thing. Like me being able to see everybody I haven't seen in 10, 15 years, it's a great feeling. So it's one of those things that it's good for your well-being, because sometimes you just have to see people from your past to kind of motivate you to keep going forward. And that's what it does for me. People that remind you how far you've come and how proud of you they are, because you get to see everybody who, we partied together at 18, 19, and 20, and now we're 30 years old and 40 years old. We're raising our families and we're leading our households. So that means a lot to me.
I love that. And we spoke earlier about like what year you left FAMU and what you majored in. So I want to take you back. Like, tell me about your experience as a Rattler. Definitely, I know you can't tell me all the tea, but tell me what are some of your fondest memories about being on the highest of the 7 hills? Did I get that right? Because I ain't go to FAM, so y'all don't kill me. But
you're honorary.
So did I say that right? Because Oliver Gilbert got me together. Commissioner Gilbert got me together. He's like, it's not the hill, it's the highest. So I got that right.
Highest of the 7 hills. Yes. And like I say, you're honorary because all your friends with the family. And,
yeah.
That's who I was with when I was in Tallahassee. So it's a great feeling, to understand that you come from tradition and you're continuing to carry that tradition from generation to generation. So being in FAMU, like some of the memories I have, oh man, like I said, I can't go into detail, but I will say FAMU created the man that you see today. You know, I learned a lot sitting in Tallahassee. A lot of trial and error. You know, you make mistakes, but the good thing is you're able to bounce back and recover from those mistakes. I always tell people, because I'm a teacher, I'm an educator. So I tell a lot of my young people, it's the great thing about college is you're partying with your future senators and presidents and lawyers and doctors. So the people you're with will be successful later, but you're catching them in that young period where we're learning life and experimenting together. You know, so once we do graduate, like now at 30 and 40 years old, when you see each other, I get a lot of people tell me, like, I would have never thought that you would be a teacher. Because they saw me when I was young. But again, that's everybody. So to see that growth from everyone and understanding that when you see these people, you know me and who I really am, but you also see who I've grown to be. So it's a mutual respect type of thing. And that's like one of the best things. You're seeing people you haven't seen, they constantly tell you how proud of you they are and they notice what you're doing. So when we do that, it's like encouragement to continue to progress and moving forward with our lives.
No, I totally agree. And I'll always say of my friends that and people that I know that went to FAMU, I say it's something about that school that gets in y'all spirit. Y'all come back changed people. Like, and you know, and I think that's really, really cool. Can you tell me like some of those things? Like if you're a Rattler, only a Rattler would know. Like what are some of those things?
Only a Rattler would know. So of course the moon. And more people know about the moon. That's like number one. Everybody who you talk to say, "Oh, the moon." And if you're not a Rattler, you know the moon. But if you're a Rattler, you know the moon. Right? Get there before you old enough. It's 21 and up, but you ain't there 18, 19 years old. Those experiences kind of made us who we were. So the moon is definitely one of those things that on a Saturday, because back then for us it was grown folks on the Saturday. And then Wednesdays, it was college night. So if you know about college night on the Wednesday in the moon or grown folks on the Saturday, like you kind of, you're initiated in that club. You get what I'm saying?
Anything on campus that you could think of or anything from school that is like only Rattlers know this?
No doubt. What was his name? It was a guy. He sold snacks. It was an older guy. I'm trying to think of his name. Soul Train. There we go. Soul Train. He probably was the age of our grandparents. Soul Train. He had an old cowboy hat. He wore cowboy boots every day. An old, small, slender guy. But he was the person that sold all your snacks and all your refreshments on campus. So anytime you want it, you go by the library, Soul Train sitting there. He got your cookies and your honey bars and your juices and everything. So if you know about Soul Train, you're a Rattler. If you know anything about Soul Train, you're a Rattler.
You know what? And like you said, I know a lot of people that went to FAM, and I hear like the moon and the quad. Is it what it is called? Or different types. The set is what it's called too.
Oh man, look.
So I've heard of that, but I never heard of Soul Train. So that's some deep Rattler stuff.
Look, Soul Train passed away about 6, 7, maybe a little more than that. But anybody who was there from 2010 before, Soul Train. And I mean, Soul Train, again, it wasn't vending machines. All the stuff that we have like access to now, Soul Train was that person. So when you're on campus, now Soul Train charged us $3 for a Gatorade. But it was you had to do it because it was him. And of course, like you say, the moon. Now the set was different. Every Friday was the set, and you set up out there. You found your area. Like pretty much, you had your area every week where you would set up on the set, and people knew where to find you. And that was just that place where I could tell you. Like I remember freshman year, I was in science class, and where my classroom was in Dyson, you could look out the window and see the set. And I would look out the set. It was about 11 o'clock because between 12 and 2 o'clock, the set was jumping. So it's about 11, 12 o'clock, and I'm on the set, waiting to get out of class. I'm in class, waiting to get out, and I'm looking at the set like, man, I can't wait to get up out of here. Like, that's all you can think about on a Friday. You don't even care about what's going on in class because everybody texting you and calling you saying, where you at, man? We on the set. We at the spot. Where you at? So that was always the thing. Like, the set on Fridays, no matter what, you get fresh and you come to the set. That was our thing.
Man, I love it, man. I bet you unlocking some core memories for people right now, whoever listening to this. Yo, thank you for like kind of breaking that down and taking us back, because I feel like that's also too the energy and spirit that goes to Orange Blossom Classic and what makes it so special, because you attending your HBCU and you're bringing all of those memories and you're coming back and reminiscing. Like, that's what makes it special for a lot of people and why people want to attend. I want to speak to you about, because Vernon, you're originally from Miami, correct? Like,
yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So, and you said your family went to Orange Blossom Classic back in the day. They told you about it. I want to talk to you as somebody who attended FAMU, who does work in the community. You're from Miami, even though, you spent time in Tallahassee too. Tell me what it means to have an event of this magnitude in your hometown, because, us growing up, I didn't even know about the Classic at all. Like, my family aren't like legacy HBCU people. My mom went, she just never spoke about it, and it kind of disappeared from the ethos and from the culture conference. Like, you heard about Boom Bay and things like that, but for some reason Orange Blossom Classic disappeared. And for you to have that connection, I want to know like what that means for you, seeing something like this of this level in Miami, and speak to that for me.
Yeah, so similar to you, like my parents, they attended Orange Blossom Classic, but they never talked about it. So until Oliver Gilbert brought it back, I had never heard of the Orange Blossom Classic. So I'm glad he did bring it back, because it's that tradition. And I look at my mom, my dad, and just family members, when they talk about it, it's like a light. You can see the glow in their eyes. You get what I'm saying? Because it's that nostalgia. They're thinking about their past. Like my mom said, that was their weekend. Whenever that happened, they would be hanging out all weekend. They couldn't wait for the game. They get dropped off early, picked up late. So to see that, like, I see that excitement and everything in my parents and those older folks, and it burns that fire, like you say, that tradition, to know that we're continuing that, so it's big for me. And as far as just getting excited for it, if you know us, you know Rattlers, like we feel like what we have is something special. So being able to share it, like I look at it, and a lot of my friends who are the same way, like when the Classic is in Miami, it's like in our minds, we're allowing you guys to just get a peek of what made us who we were when we were in college. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, having it at home in Miami is like, I'm hosting. I feel like the host. So anybody coming, we have to show you a good time, show you how Rattlers get down. And not just Rattlers, because when you get to Tallahassee, it's like Miami Rattlers are different. Just like the state of Miami is not the state of Florida.
That part.
Coming from Miami are completely different than anybody else going to FAMU. So in our minds, we feel like it's up to us to show you that great time, to show you why we feel as strong as we do about this university. Because again, not only did it make us who we were or help mold us into the person we became, but like we met a lot of people who have become lifelong friends, so it meant a lot to us. It really made a difference in our life.
That's what's up. And I also think too, for somebody like me, and I wish I had this growing up, like you get to have this in your own backyard. So you get to experience a taste of HBCU life. And maybe that would have influenced more of us to go to HBCU. So I'm so excited for the youth. And I know you work a lot with the youth. So I'm excited to see like over time, like how many kids who are attending with, like us, our age, like we have little, I don't have kids, but people our age have kids. They're taking them, and that may influence them to go to HBCU. So to me, that's the trickle down effect of like what this is. And then also too, like the woman who brought this back is a Black woman who, you know, grew up in Miami. And so for her, you know, Kendra Bullock, shout out to her, like to have this vision to be like, yo, we need to have this here. Because she was saying too, like the only other major event of this scale that brings 40,000 people in is Jazz in the Gardens. And so now you have this whole weekend of like HBCU culture coming to Miami. And I wanted to speak to you because I know as a Rattler, I know you've been to other classics. I know you've been to other like homecoming experiences. I want to know from you, and since you said you've attended previous Orange Blossom Classics, I want to know, like, how does this compare to other ones? Like, what would you say does this lines up with other classics that have been, you know, around before, like the one in Orlando? Like, what would you say is the comparison or the difference?
So again, I've been, as a family thing, we've been attending the Florida Classic in Orlando for, I mean, as far as I can remember, and that's like 5 years old. I remember us going to the Florida Classic. So again, FAMU has always been a tradition for us. So that's something I've always done. When I look at the Orange Blossom Classic and what makes it different, I feel like even though it's something that was in the past, because it's new, it's a new field. You get what I'm saying? Like some things come around when people, and I feel like the Orange Blossom Classic came around when we really needed it. So that's what makes it different. And because it is new, again, it's like everything is always fresh. So with the Orlando Classic, after a while, you kind of know what to expect. You get what I'm saying? Miami is a little different because it's the third year now. I think, we're the third year coming back. And you never know. Like, I look at last year, I think I met in person like 3 or 4 different celebrities, you know, just in walking around the stadium. Jackson State, their band director, who's a great guy, like he took the time to speak with us, take pictures and everything, even though we had on FAMU gear. So just to be able to be like, I had never heard of Jackson State prior to the Classic. So being able to, prior to the Classic and Coach Prime. So this was educational for me and learning more about the university and their history. So I feel in ways it brings people together, you know, and that's the biggest thing, like how we're able to come together, fellowship, have a good time, and still leave their family, no matter who you're representing, whether you have on your jersey, we're still family.
That's what's up, and I think that's the great thing about HBCU.
We will be arriving at Boca Raton shortly. Please start gathering your personal belongings as this is your final destination. We will be stopped at the station for only a brief moment.
Look, you know what? We're at the end. Like, that was perfect timing. If there's anything else you think we should add or things that I didn't speak on, please let me know. Or you think you want to share about the Orange Blossom Classic or FAMU. If not, you know, this has been great. I'm glad we got like that. Like we had that window of silence.
I got it. I feel like because I've heard like this may be the last year of FAMU as far as contract wise with the Orange Blossom Classic. And I don't know if you heard that yet, but if not, then apparently the contract didn't work out, so this will be the last year. But I don't want the tradition of the Orange Blossom Classic to end, because regardless of what school is represented, I think for Miami, and you said it best, it exposes our kids and our families to HBCUs. So I want that tradition of the Orange Blossom Classic to continue, whether it's a Rattler involved or not, because I know what it will do for the generations to come. And it'll allow them to see that camaraderie, regardless of what school you represent. Because truth be told, when we went to the game last year, I have friends who are Rattlers, Wildcats, and that's our biggest rivalry. But they're at the game, I had a lot of friends who attended Tuskegee, who was at the game, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Howard. So it's not just really about a Jackson State and FAMU, but it's like an HBCU party in general. So us being able to come together, have a good time, represent who it is that we hold dear to our hearts. You know, that university, that Jackson State, that FAMU, that Bethune-Cookman, Edward Waters, whatever, Florida Memorial, because there was a lot of people Florida Memorial represented. You know, and a lot of people don't know it. And the HBCU is right here in Miami. So just being able to come together and fellowship together, like, that's big. And I want to continue that tradition, regardless if the Rattlers are involved, Jackson State's involved, whoever may come. Like, let's continue to move forward with just bringing people together through football, because that's the one thing I always say. It doesn't matter what color you are, where you're from, who you are, how much money you have. Like, sports brings us together, because if you're rooting for the same team, I don't care what you look like. We high five just because our team scored a touchdown or made a goal or a bucket. So let's continue that tradition through sports. Like, it shows how sports brings us together and makes us closer.
I love it. That's a perfect way to end it. I appreciate you for taking time to speak with me, Vernon. You know, we go back and you always we support each other. So I just appreciate you so much. Oh, before I let you go, I just want you to tell me about your organization, because I want to make sure we include that into the article. So tell me about Coach's Closet, what you do, and then also can we include in the article as well that you're an educator? I don't know if you want to say the school or you want to say a teacher. So just tell me kind of like about your organization and then how I should title you in the article.
So, of course, I'm an educator, 15 plus years, Vernon Chipman. My organization I have is Coach's Closet. We're a service-based organization. We provide whatever we can to those in need. We're known for providing shoes and school supplies, different things to the individuals. But our goal is families. Like, we want to help families as much as we can. And because, of course, it's not just about the child, but the family in its entirety. And as much as we can be of assistance, we will be. I graduated from Florida A&M, of course, education major. So, of course, you know, like, kids are big to me, families. That's something that's near and dear to my heart. And everything we do, everything I do, is based on how we can improve the dynamic, not just of the Black family, because you have a lot.
Welcome to Boca Raton. Thank you for riding Brightline. We will only be stopped at the station for a brief moment before departing for Fort Lauderdale.
So you hear a lot of people say they want to change the dynamic, and it's not just about the Black family, but all families, because we all need help. So that's one thing that Coach's Closet is focused on, just helping as many people as we can, whoever we can. And it's just the educator in me that I have a soft spot for people in need, you know, and especially students and kids. So however we can help, we're here. And if you're available to help us out, please reach out, because we're always looking for partners and individuals who just want to see a change in the world for the positive.
I love that, man. That's a perfect way to end it, Vernon. I appreciate it. I don't want the Brightline people to interrupt our interview no more. I know.